WWE Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns TKO contract under risk. Insider drops big hint. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Jennifer. Have a nice day. For the WWE family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Roman Reigns, one of WWE's top stars and its highest paid performer, is being talked about because of his part-time schedule. A wild rumor about Roman Reigns has been making the rounds lately. Former WWE commentator Hugo Savinovich has now shared more details about the speculation surrounding Reigns' contract situation under TKO. It looks like WWE, now under TKO's leadership, is making big changes to its roster. The company has reportedly decided not to renew the contracts of R-Truth, Valhalla, and Carlito. Now, Roman Reigns, one of WWE's top stars and its highest-paid performer, is being talked about because of his part-time schedule. Speaking on Lucha Libre Online, Savinovich discussed the rumors about Reigns' $15 million annual earnings. He doesn't believe WWE will release Reigns, but he does think the company is planning to lower his pay. While they won't outright release him, he won't be making $15 million per year anymore, Savinovich said. Now, why $15 million? Let me break it down. Roman Reigns' base salary is $5 million. But then there are add-ons, pay-per-views, video game deals like WWE 2K, promotional appearances, merchandise royalties. He earns 30% on merch, which is huge, and special bonuses like appearances in Saudi Arabia. Plus, he earns a cut from ticket sales. All of this adds up to $15 million a year. Savinovich also said he heard that TKO wants to renegotiate Reigns' contract. And TKO, they're cutting costs across the board. We've seen recent releases, and there are rumors of more. Remember when Nick Khan, a major WWE exec, announced he was selling $4 million worth of stock? That raised eyebrows. TKO is saying, Roman's not around full-time. Why are we paying him so much? So they want to renegotiate. There's no official confirmation yet, so fans should take all this with a grain of salt. On Raw this week, Seth Rollins told fans that Roman Reigns won't be back anytime soon. Rollins, with help from Braun Breaker, took out the original tribal chief and wrote him off TV for now. Rollins is now firmly in control on Raw and has earned a spot in the upcoming Money in the Bank ladder match. Will Reigns return to go after Rollins and get his revenge? Fans will have to watch Money in the Bank this weekend to find out. These days, Roman Reigns is one of WWE's most popular wrestlers and may soon be expanding into the world of Hollywood. However, there was a time when Reigns lived a far less glamorous life, despite his famous family and a promising collegiate football career. Reigns was born Liati Joseph Anoa'i in Pensacola, Florida, on May 25, 1985. His father, Sika Anoa'i, was one half of the Wild Samoans tag team, and many other members of the family were deeply ingrained in the industry as well. However, it was a working-class upbringing for Reigns, and he was the youngest of 4 children in his family. Rather than looking to follow in his father's footsteps, Reigns took a cue from his older brother Matt and pursued football from an early age. After building his reputation in high school, Anoa'i went on to play football at Georgia Tech, where he became a teammate of future NFL Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson. During his college days, many of those who played with Anoa'i believed that he was bound for the NFL, but his life and career would take a few unexpected turns. Anoa quote, I went undrafted in the 2007 NFL draft, but he was signed by the Minnesota Vikings as a free agent. Because of his team-mandated physical, Anoa'i learned some life-changing news. He had a type of cancer known as chronic myeloid leukemia. He began treatment right away and found himself in remission not long after. But having missed out on months of training, Anoa'i was not on an NFL roster by the time the season began. After this, Anoa'i played in the Canadian Football League for a brief time, but he was eventually released there as well. It was at this point that the future Reigns began working as an office furniture installer for a company that his sister owned. At the time, Anoa'i was working with 2 of his cousins that he was close with, but they would soon leave to join WWE's developmental territory. Today, they're known as Jimmy and Jay USO. Years later, Reigns credited a single conversation with his father for convincing him not to settle for a job building furniture. After that, he made the decision to pursue wrestling. In 2010, anoa'i made his way to Florida Championship Wrestling, WWE's developmental brand prior to the creation of NXT. However, he was still a long way from main eventing stadiums. Anoa'i wrestled under the name Leaky in the early days, but the company decided on the name Roman Reigns around the same time the transition was made to NXT.LL. Spending just a couple of years learning the ropes, Reigns was brought up to the WWE main roster in 2012 as a member of a new faction called The Shield. The group quickly picked up steam and became popular with fans, but when the decision was made to break The Shield up in 2014 and begin pushing Reigns as a single star, there was a backlash. For various reasons, fans rejected Reigns just as they had once pushed back on the rise of his cousin, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. WWE's then CEO and booker Vince McMahon held firm, continuing to feature Reigns as a babyface at the top of the card. In October 2018, Reigns made a shocking announcement on WWE Raw, revealing that he was battling CML for the second time. After relinquishing the World Championship, Reigns spent several months in treatment and returned in February, building straight into a reunion of The Shield. This served as a turning point for the fan reaction to Reigns, but there were even greater heights to come. After taking some time off during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, Reigns returned to WWE in August 2020. His comeback was particularly surprising as it featured Reigns turning heel for the first time since the original run of The Shield. This was the beginning of the bloodline, and Reigns' turn at the top of that faction would solidify his place among the most respected wrestlers of his day. Now a babyface. Once again, Reigns has earned the admiration of most wrestling fans despite working a part-time schedule. After picking up a few movie roles here and there over the years, Reigns now seems to be eyeing a more impactful move to film. Possibly following in the footsteps of The Rock. WWE has long been the juggernaut of professional wrestling, with the track record of huge events, like recording-breaking gates at WrestleManias and SummerSlams, excellent 5-star matches, Hall of Fame talents, and unforgettable moments to prove it. The company has made huge moves on the business side of things, most recently moving its flagship show, WWE Raw, to Netflix. In a historic effort, and before that, merging with UFC to create TKO Group Holdings. Sometimes it seems like WWE has never been off its game, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. It hasn't always been just major business deals and giant WrestleMania stages for WWE. From scandals to lawsuits to talent even jumping to the competition that the company won't even admit exists, there have been quite a few misses in WWE, especially in recent memory. WWE has almost fumbled the bag when it comes to various aspects of its storylines, like attempting to change up the WrestleMania 40 main event to the outrage of fans, to the booking of the legendary John Cena. There are plenty of mistakes that WWE would like fans to forget ever happened. Things like airing specials during tragedies before they had details, to ending the most historic streak in wrestling history, to a more simple fact of not pushing fan favorites. WWE has had plenty of swings and misses in its history. WWE has seen some excellent eras of wrestling throughout its history, from the beloved Attitude Era, to the beginnings of Rock and Wrestling, to the Ruthless Aggression Era, to what is known now as the Netflix era under the leadership of Paul Triple H Levesque. It's the seemingly never-ending callbacks to those previous eras, especially that of the Attitude Era, that are mistakes WWE continues to make over and over. It's often like WWE and its fans are addicted to nostalgia, and there are examples of that running rampant throughout the company and its recent history. One of the biggest examples of the nostalgia addiction is WWE's shows in Saudi Arabia. WWE brings in old-school veteran talents, many of whom allegedly receive big paydays for the events. This brought about one of WWE's biggest mistakes when it comes to matches in recent memory, Shawn Michaels and Triple H versus The Undertaker and Kane, a bout that even Michaels and Undertaker regret having, as both men were well past their prime and delivered a subpar match. Michaels said he regretted coming out of retirement for the match.